Hello and welcome to Out of Spec Reviews. Today we are driving the Mustang Mach-E, and this is going to be our first driving impressions. So literally we're picking up the car at our hotel. It was dropped off at 7 o'clock, actually 6:50 in the morning this morning. We're going to jump in and share the initial setup of the vehicle. We'll go through some settings and just literally our raw first impressions of driving the all-electric Mustang Mach-E. This is Ford's first full electric vehicle that's not a compliance car. This is a full effort by the team. We have spent quite a bit of time with their engineers, with their team that made this car possible, and it's so fun to finally be able to drive the production version. So let's jump in and go for a rip. People love the Mustang Mach-E. We just have people stopping by to come and get pictures. Tijmen's taking pro photos right here. Love it. You join us in the Mustang Mach-E. You can't see him, but Tijmen's next to me. Lean in and wave. There we go. Tijmen's our videographer. If you don't know, I'm sure you know by now. And this is literally going to be the first time we sit in the Mustang. I haven't even adjusted the seat yet, but I wanted to bring you along for our first impressions. Now, this isn't going to be such a data-intensive video. We're going to have full walkarounds with all the numbers, all the specs, all the comparison data. We have the car all day. We're so lucky. We actually got snowed out of our flight yesterday. They had a little 4-hour media drive, and Ford's just great. We have a great relationship with them, and they said, look, just take the car for the whole day. So we're able to do a whole bunch of charging tests and everything like that. We're filming this in November. This will go live in December. So let's first, let me get my seating position set up. So there is only one height adjustment on the seat. It raises and lowers the whole thing, but it doesn't seem to be a big deal. So I'm going to move a little bit closer to the pedals. The steering wheel's in bus driver mode. So there's a little manual adjustment. I can pull it towards me, push it away, and then pull it down. That seems to be about pretty good. I can see the gauges pretty well. Can you guys on the camera see the gauges? Sort of. You can also see the little driver assistance, lights hitting me over here. I can't see those physically with my eyes. And the eye tracking is not enabled in this car yet. We'll talk about the driver assistance when we go, but the functionality is there, and that's coming as an over-the-air software update sometime in early 21. That's next year, I guess. Sorry, it's still early. It's 7:52 in the morning, but it's really 5:52 for us in Colorado. And yeah, so we'll talk about that in a bit. Let's get our system set up now that I'm set up. First off, it's cold out here, 41 degrees. I put my heated seats, heated steering wheel on, and we're gonna pull down, we're gonna push this person here, and this is Mike. Let's create ourselves a whole new profile. How do I do that? Oh, gotta click the thing, change, add. This is pretty responsive. Personal profiles, create a profile. Let's do it. Profile setup, Kyle. This will be my profile. Okay, how do I hit next? Enter. Thank you, Tijmen. Memory button, select available seat. I think I'll go number 3, Kyle, because Mike is number 2. And what photo do we want? Ooh, I kind of like that electric Mustang logo. Continue. Link key fob, we'll skip that. All right, there's only one key fob here. Link forward pass, so my phone can act as a key. I can have a whole thing. I'm not going to set all that up now. We'll worry about that later on. And now I have my own profile, and the car will learn how I drive and how I use the system, and even predict the range off of my driving habits versus another profile. They've spent a ton of time optimizing the range calculation here to be super reflective of what you're actually going to get. For example, car set outside, it's cold soaked overnight, we're at 96% state of charge. It's probably been driven on the racetrack all day yesterday, so it's having a rough day, and it's saying 190 miles predicted. But in actuality, if we drive easy, I know I can far exceed that. It is rated EPA at 270 miles on a full charge. It's cold and raining today, but it is factoring in all of that. It actually, Ford claims that the the Guessometer range calculation here factors in more variables than any other car, because they really just want to, give you a relatively low estimate, and you'll never worry about making it there. It factors in elevation, weather, wind, traffic, the whole bit. So here we go into my settings. This is going to take a little while, but we're going to get the whole car set up exactly how I want it. So we'll first start in controls. So drive modes. You have engage, whisper, and unbridled. Engage is balanced. That's nice. Whisper is calm and quiet, of course. And unbridled is you know, you're on your horse riding along, I guess. I don't know. How many dad jokes about ponies and horses can we get in today? We'll see. I think I'll try whisper. We'll try the calm setting first. So we're gonna go whisper. I have one pedal drive on. I have auto ambient light selection. Sure, we'll let the Mustang choose what light we want. And propulsion sound, no. Okay, camera, nice, good to have for sure. That's great. Parking, driver assistance, this is all the good stuff. Auto hold, yes. Traction control, yes, to start, but it's nice to know we can at least turn that off. That's pretty great. And then there's additional settings. I love that you can dive deeper into this stuff. Look at all this. So many things you can adjust. This is so cool. So if you're an average normal user, it looks like you can just get the basics out of the way. But if you're nerdy like I am, you can go into everything. So on cruise control, we have adaptive cruise set, but I can also select intelligent cruise control. We're certainly gonna try that. That's gonna adjust based on the speed limit of the road that we're driving on. Tolerance, we will drive 5 over the speed limit, allegedly, is what I'm gonna have it set to. Speed limit assist, no, we don't want it to warn us. Lane keeping system, oh, turn that off. Lane keeping system, aid and alert, and intensity normal, that sounds good. Pre-collision assist, distance indication, sure, that sounds pretty cool. Oh, this just popped up here. But I don't want that there all the time, so I'm gonna turn that off. That was nice. Evasive steering and alert sensitivity, high. I wanna see this thing work. Rear view camera delay, nope. Blind spot, cross traffic, reverse brake assist, driver alert, what is this? Notifies you if I'm inattentive. Oh, we gotta try that for sure. So you might be steering for a little while I pretend to be inattentive. And traction control on, of course. Wow, so many settings, I love it. Look how much there is here. Let's go into our vehicle settings. Okay, loading. Vehicle power down timer, I guess that's if I get out and I don't shut the car off, great. Rear occupant alert, sure. Easy entry exit, seat adjustment, sure. So that should back my seat out when I get in and out. Ford My Key, that's the same as other Fords. Onboard serial number alarm system. Ask on exit, no. Motion sensors on. That's smart. If you have the car on a trailer or a ferry, you can turn off the motion sensors so it doesn't freak the alarm out. That's a cool setup. Remote start, yes. Climate control can go to last settings or auto. I think auto makes sense for me. So that's when you precondition the car. Seats and steering wheel heating, auto. Wow, that steering wheel's warm and my seat is getting toasty as well. I'm gonna just pull that down to the first notch there. You can also have automatic heated seats. And the duration will be 15 minutes. That's probably a little short, but that's as long as you can do. Okay, windows, remote open and close. Wow, look at all these settings. Courtesy wipe, that is my favorite setting in any car. I love the courtesy wipe nomenclature, so that's pretty funny. Reverse wiper, absolutely. It's raining today. Every time you put it in reverse, that rear wiper will kick on. That's kind of nice. For those who don't know what courtesy wipe is, when you wash the windshield, it will, you know, of course, the wipers will go, you know, with using the windshield washer fluid, and then it'll give it like 2 or 3 seconds and then do the courtesy wipe after to get the streaks away. It's a great feature. Power lift gate, automatic, okay. Hands-free, yes, so I can kick under there. Lighting, wow, look at all these settings. This is great. So you have all your auto high beam, daytime running lights, welcome lights, locks, auto unlock, mislock, chirp, walkaway lock, enabled, that's nice. Audible feedback, sure. Remote unlock all doors, absolutely. Some people just like their driver's door to open for safety, some like them all. Mirrors auto fold, absolutely. Door keypad code, I guess I can enter the factory code, I don't know what it is. Tire mobility kit, I don't know what that is. Maybe there's a life to the tire pressure fluid, or the air canister, what's it called? You know, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, when you have a flat tire, you put the foam stuff in it.
Oh yeah.
I think that might be what this is. If you know what it is, leave it down in the comments. This is 10 minutes of already setting up the car right here. We're almost there. Backup start passcode. I don't know. Oh, that's so you can have a backup. Low battery, when should it warn us? I think with 20 miles, we're EV experts, we can handle that. EV driving history, push and hold to reset. Let's do that, resetting. We want everything fresh for us on this drive. Great. And now our predicted range just went up to 237 miles. Yeah, I was telling you they were really driving this car hard. Emergency tow, we don't need to do all that. Now we get into general settings. Wow, English, Fahrenheit, miles and miles per kilowatt hour. Okay, so you can't do watt hour per mile, but you can do miles per kilowatt hour. That's nice. Tire pressure units, touchscreen beep. No, I don't like that. Intelligent selections, or sorry, intelligent suggestions. So it'll suggest things on the screen that you use frequently. That's nice. We'll go over to display here. Calm screen. That's kind of nice and calming. Go back to settings if I know how to do it. Car, oh yeah, settings. Thanks, Tijmen. This is literally my first time in this thing. Where were we? Display, right? Brightness, I mean, it seems to get pretty bright, so we'll just leave it somewhere there. Instrument cluster, darker, that's fine. Clock, what did that say? 4:47? That doesn't make sense. That one says, oh, there we go. I'll hook my phone up in a second. Vehicle hotspot, that's cool. System, mobile apps, departure and comfort. Ambient light. This is nice. Oh, we can change the color.
Yeah, so it changes. So here, drive modes. Look, it turns orange.
Oh yeah, the lights change different colors for different drive modes. That's cool. Because we have auto ambient light selection.
Yes. Otherwise, it'd be white or
green or whatever we had it set to.
Yeah. And then
nice.
Very good.
I like it. So that's all the settings. Should we go for a drive now, finally?
Yes.
All right, but I don't want to drive it in unbridled to start. I just want to drive it normally. So
press the car again.
Press the car. That's anything to do with the car. You hit the car, and we're going to go into whisper. Foot on the brake, and I have this little twist knob. I can twist it to the right for drive. You can keep twisting it to the right all the time, I guess. And then you have L, which we'll have to try if that adds regen. But I have my one pedal drive on, so the car's not going to go anywhere. We have auto hold. And it even says one pedal right there, which is kind of nice. So let's go. Ooh, I heard the door locks go, just a little zzz. And the seating position's great. I'm actually going to move the steering wheel down just a hair right there. Speed limit 5. It knows we're in a parking lot. That's kind of cool. We didn't even pass a speed limit sign yet. Let's see if we can pull up here the navigation. So here we go. This is the navigation screen. Now we have it up. And it'll give you, it'll search for charging stations. We're going to do a whole in-depth thing on this system as to how to road trip the Mustang Mach-E. We may even do that on the Out of Spec Motoring YouTube channel. What's the Mustang Mach-E like to drive? I think we go out this way. Steering's really nice and light. Should we test the turning radius really quick in this little parking lot? Would you mind putting your Starbucks cut somewhere, just because they're rubbing against each other and I don't want to have that bothering our audience? You know, we'd hear about it in the comments. So on a full turn, this thing has a pretty good turning radius, actually. Look at this. It's not ID4 levels, but I don't know if you would need any more than that. What do you think?
Solid.
Solid. The time in one word evaluation, always. It's still early in the morning for him. He's getting going. I kind of know the area, but not that well. I just know we need to run the battery down to 0 for some charging tests. And that looks like an empty straight road. And this is a Mustang, and we are in Detroit, which can only mean one thing.
Don't crash.
Don't crash, that's right. No crowds of people around. We won't make any of those jokes, of course. Let's come to a stop. We're on an empty road for the most part. We're going unbridled. All right. We're gonna see, can you launch it? Yes, you can brake boost it. Ready?
Yep.
Brake boost, go. Oh, stuff's flying. Wow, she freaking moves. Look at this thing, 60 already. Super smooth power. I mean, that was impressive. Not slow. And the car is making its little pedestrian noise now. That was awesome. Not slow at all, and the 30-mile-an-hour hit it. Look at this thing, it freaking moves. Sorry, I know you just almost spilled your drink there. I should warn you. Now Ford has already told us, they know who we are, that when you get your foot down, yeah, you can slide it. Traction control is on, but you can do a little power on oversteer. And the reason that's the case is because this is the extended range all-wheel drive. It has a small front motor and the large rear motor. The GT will have 2 large motors. So technically, when you compare this to the GT, this will be a better drifting car. I mean, the rear-wheel drive is going to be the best. I can't wait to do a whole drifting thing with that. Or the Mach-E 1400 crazy 7-motor race car that they built. But this is going to be better for, you know, sliding it around. And you can already see power out of a corner. You can let that back end work. And you know, they call it a Mustang, right? So does it have the soul of a Mustang? And Tijmen and I, we've spent a lot of time in Mustangs. You know, we're not just EV people. We love all cars. And we recently had the new GT500 on track. And that car, you know, everyone says is really scary. It's going to bite you. But I thought it was tuned really well. Yeah. And it wasn't scary. It was very approachable. We had that car on the limit. We had it sideways. It was like putty in my hand. It was really nice. But it wasn't scary. And this certainly is not going to be scary at all. But is it going to let you have fun? Is it going to have the soul of a Mustang? And we're certainly going to find that out. But things are looking good at first glance because of that power. Keep in mind, this isn't even the fast one. We'll have the GT coming at some point in the future. And then maybe some faster ones than that, like the Mach-E 1400. If we can get our hands on that at some point, that would be a blast. But the driving dynamics is more what I care about. So let's go back to whisper mode, cruising. I can already feel the pedal back off. So the pedal sensitivity is a longer pedal now. I really have to get deep into it. Full power feels about the same. Sorry for these terrible Michigan roads. Let's try the regen. No one's behind us. Pretty strong. Now we're going to get back up to speed. I'm going to put it in L, and we're going to see if that increases the regen in our one pedal driving setting. Yeah, I feel no difference between the two. So if we turn one pedal drive off, okay, now we're coasting, right? Without my foot on the brake in one pedal driving off, we are just coasting. And then if I click L, now we have regen. So that's what the L is for. If you don't use one pedal drive, but you want regen, you use L. Probably smart for going down hills and stuff if you don't like regen. Now, the brake pedal will still blend in regen. If you want to hit the brakes, it will, of course, do that. Now, we should probably feel what that feels like. So I'm going to go drive, one pedal driving off. You can feel the pedal mapping move as you change these settings, which is kind of cool. So you can really get the car set exactly how you want it for the driver. And now I'm going to hit the brake pedal. It's all regen. And I think right there, physical brakes blend in. Just because I heard it, because the rotors made a little noise. It's probably the first time they were really used. But yeah, you really don't even feel that blending point. Here, I'm trying it again. We're going over these bumps. A lot of EVs have trouble on wet surfaces with high regen, transitioning from regen locking the wheels over those little bumps to then removing the regen and then applying physical, you know, friction brakes. And that transition period, especially in a slippery surface, is very hard to calibrate. And while I don't think we got into ABS, but we were on some big bumps, the car's transition there felt nice. Here, I'm going to try it over this bump here. So I'm in regen, and I could not feel a thing in the pedal, but I know that the car transitioned from physical, or from regen to physical, because you could feel it on the back axle, especially grab. And the car handled that so well. The Hyundai Kona, for example, not to knock the Kona, but it can't do that. You hit a bump like that, the car lurches forward, and then it's like full ABS. So they've done a great job on the brake pedal and braking calibration at first glance, which I'm pleased with. I'm going to go back to one pedal driving because I like a lot of regen, and we are going to, oh, thanks, Tijmen. Yep, there we go. All right, so one pedal driving. Let's try engage. I think this is like somewhere in between. Now our battery stuff comes up here. We'll have to play around to see what screens we can actually get up on here. Let's jump on the highway. So we have a nice off ramp here that we're going to go around. Should we see unbridled mode? Because we just want to rip it. All right, so it's probably pretty slippery and cold, 42 degrees, so we're just gonna hold it. First off, the steering is great. Wow, very few cars have this feel. It's hard to describe. Look at that, on power, rotation, full beans deployed, moving in front of a truck, and we're up to speed. So if you want to drive it like a Mustang, you can. That's good. That's definitely the most dynamic I've felt an electric CUV, SUV feel. And it's doing it in a way where it's not uncompliant, right? Because, and it's hard to describe this, but steering feel, you know, we talk about this, does it matter? Do people realize? It's so hard to say, but I will say that the steering calibration, the way that the feedback came through the wheel around that corner, you know, it's no 911, it's no, you know, race car, but for what this car is, it is by far holding up to the Mustang name in the corner. So let's try the driver assistance. So I've selected cruise control on. I'm gonna select lane keeping system on. I get the little bubble. And I have to keep my hands on the wheel here. Now, if I take my hands off the wheel, it'll let me do it, but soon the eye tracking for driver monitoring system, right now it uses a torque sensor in the wheel. It will be using your eye movement in the future. Then it will let you basically go hands-free on major highways where they've pre-mapped them. And I think that's an interesting approach, especially while we're in this interim before, you know, we have truly autonomous vehicles, but we also need driver supervision. More driver monitoring is a win in my book. But first of all, the lane keeping on a situation like this is dead solid. So here's the keep hands on steering wheel. Let's see what it does. So it's buzzing, and I touch the wheel, and then we're good. And that was just a very light touch. Now, what's it like if I pop out of the system? So I'm pushing the car outside of the lane, and then it's gonna re-engage. It says ready, now we're back to blue. That's nice. I can't tell you how many times in a competitive, no, we'll just say in autopilot system where you have new drivers that don't understand you need to pull it out of autopilot, change lanes without a turn signal, right? Granted, you should always use your turn signal, but I'm just demonstrating here. I can just nudge the car over. It knows I'm touching the wheel, disengages the system, buzzes the wheel, says, hey, you've hit the line, but it doesn't like pop out of the system and we jerk and slide all over the road. Alyssa was driving my car, one of my older Teslas, and popped out of autopilot one time, and we were literally fishtailing. I had to reach over and correct the car, and it's just like a total disaster. That will never happen here with this system, so thank you for this, Ford. Sorry to knock Alyssa, but yes, that was when she was still getting used to autopilot. Whoa, that suspension comfort though over those bumps.
Yeah, how much different it is in this.
Right, yeah, I don't actually know. I assume it has adaptive suspension. I have to look. I haven't read any of the materials. We have all day with the car. This is our first impressions. So driver systems here are pretty good. Will it do lane changes? No. That's coming, I think. As soon as you hit the turn signal, though, it turns off the active steering, and then the blue bubble will pop up as soon as we're in the lane. Oh, that has got to be one of the easiest to use driver assistance systems I've ever driven. So that was our first setup and quick impressions on the Mustang Mach-E. Road noises unbelievably quiet. You can hear that they're not double pane glass, but the actual tire noise is very low. No wind noise. What do you think, Tijmen? You're a Mustang guy. Tijmen owns a Ford. He's a Ford man. You have a Focus RS. Let's see what it does here. This guy's driving in our lane. It nudged over a little bit. Okay, get off your phone, dude. Literally just staring at his phone. Yeah, giving Ford owners a bad name there, dude. All right, so what do you think?
I think it's very similar to my car.
Really?
How in the passenger seat, besides my racing seats,
right?
It's aggressive. I think it's a comparable between my car, a nice SUV, and a Mustang. All three put together, and it makes this, which is very good.
Yeah, I mean, like, I could see myself having fun with this thing.
Right.
Even taking it to a track day, sure, right? Because that handling was impressive. The acceleration's impressive. And the power delivery is so smooth. You know, a lot of these EVs that, and we'll have to try the GT because that's really this powertrain turned up to 11. This you can tell, you know, they certainly capped it. But you can just tell it's so under stress. You don't feel any axles shaking, you know, like in old Model X, remember how bad it was when you floored it, the whole front end felt like it was going to fall apart. Certainly they're better now, but like, you know, it just doesn't give you any of that feeling at all. And we're going to talk about this car versus ID4 versus Nissan Ariya versus Model Y. We've been driving all those cars together, but off the bat, this as a standalone vehicle, it certainly makes me very happy. I think that I have zero complaints, and in fact, it's exceeding my expectations, which were already quite high for how comfortable this is. So we're heading into downtown Detroit right now, I hope. I think that's where we're heading. That's this way. We always go over this bridge on the way into town. And I want to get some shots of the new Mustang in Motor City. So join us for the next video. That was a fun first drive. And we'll have a lot more info coming your way soon.